we'll talk about that in the course of this conversation today. So last week we spoke about warmth. I told you that warmth is the quality of being friendly. You're not being only friendly, you're also empathetic towards people. There you offer service with empathy. You're not just doing transactional service, it's emotional service. People have always said that people will not remember what you said to them, but how you made them feel. Warmth is that part that makes people feel drawn, that makes people feel connected to you. It's the human parts of business, and not just business, but then even as an individual, maybe in church, the welcome team, there's a way you can do your service with warmth. I spoke last week about complaints and how complaints are gifts, and that's where I would like us to pick up from today. From the PDF I shared last week, the free resource I gave out, 16 most common service mistakes that small businesses make in Nigeria, there was a part where I spoke about how complaints are a gift. Now, when customers complain to you, they are not doing so because they don't like you. In fact, what you should be very concerned about are those customers that do not complain. The customer that has an issue with your service and doesn't say anything is the one that you should be even more concerned about. So let people complain to you. Let them feel comfortable complaining to you. What that does to you or to your business is that it gives them that assurance that someone is there to hear me. I have said this here before. I think that was sometime last year when we spoke about customer service, how I said that there is a particular brand that I would always even advise other people to complain to, because when you complain, they'll listen to you, right? And that's because I have seen it happen to me. So complaints are not a way of people beefing you or people being unsatisfied with your business. Yes, of course, they are complaining because something did not go right. But see it as a gift, see it as a blessing, see it as, oh, this person really cares about my business, or this person cares about the service I'm offering. And it's not just in business, like I said, it could be in church. If someone comes to church and says things like, I feel like it's too loud in church, see it as a feedback. It's just a feedback. It's a gift. It's because they really care. So you as the person who they complain to, maybe you're in the service excellence team or wherever it is that you serve, it's an opportunity for you to tell them that, okay, I think you can sit here. Maybe the noise is too much because you're here. Or thank you for this feedback. I'll talk to the sound team and see how we can work on this. Now, complaints are not attacks to your business. They are feedbacks and opportunities for you to strengthen your relationship with your customers. So when a customer is coming to say, I don't like XYZ, take it as a feedback. In fact, I read from one author where he said that, well, he gave a disclaimer that he's not deliberately saying that. He's not saying that you should deliberately go ahead and try to make sure things are not working. But then what he does in his own business is that there will be maybe one or two things that are not working properly, just so people can complain. And then when they complain, the speed with which they resolve the issue is usually impressive. For him, I know that's kind of risky, but for him, that's a strategy that has worked. So when you see complaints, please take it as feedback. Now, how do you resolve these complaints? Number one, you understand that the complaining customer is giving you a second chance. Complaints are second chances. Then let the customer speak without interruption. Now, I have seen this happen a lot. Well, maybe I've done it before in the past, but thank God for the warmth revolution, and I've learned better. When a customer is complaining, let them finish, let them talk. So something I've learned to do is when we have walk-in customers at my place of work, and they're usually irate customers, and the customer is complaining about one thing that did not go well, I'm usually called to handle the situation. So the first thing I would usually do is, if the customer is standing and is complaining, they're usually irate customers, and the customer is complaining about, I'm usually called, the first thing and is complaining, and some of them shouting and threatening that this will happen, this kind. The first thing and then tell them, please, can you have your seats? I tell the office assistants to give them a cold bottle of water, and it usually helps. Just give them water. Let them talk. Don't interrupt them. People just want to be heard most times. And even at that, it doesn't mean the customer is always right. I have said it here before that saying that customers are always right is not entirely true, but they are right about how they are feeling at that time. So when you do service with empathy, it's that time where you are able to look at it that, okay, this customer is complaining either out of ignorance, maybe they don't know better, and I'm here to help them, or there's actually an issue, or this is a valid complaint. I'm still here to help them. I want them to know that I can hear you. I am here to listen to you. I am human. I'm not just here to give you some rules and or some scripts. When I used to work in telecommunications, when you call them to say XYZ is happening, it's almost as if you're speaking to a robot, because there's like a script they are telling you that, oh, I understand how you feel. However, XYZ is like this. And I want you to, can you even hear me at all? Are you listening to me? That's bad service, which is why I'm saying that we need to introduce warmth. Warmth is beyond just doing customer service or giving them the script, okay? So one thing you can do, all of this is in the book I shared last week. Then you say something like, thank you for telling us this. We appreciate the feedback. And thank you for giving us a chance to make this right. Then you apologize sincerely. You take immediate action and offer a solution. You track complaints and categorize them to identify patterns. Now, what these feedbacks will do for you is also to realize if there's a pattern in your business, if there's something that is consistently not going well. You need to know when customers complain that, this app, I am unable to link my card. Don't just feel like it's because of their network. You tell them, put it on airplane mode and remove it. The customer is still complaining. If you have like 5 customers complaining about the same thing on the same day, you know that there's a pattern, and this helps to make your service experience better. Then, yes, follow-ups are also really important. You need to follow up with the customer to know if the issues have been resolved. Then trainings. Almost everything I said last week was about training. You need to train your people. You need to train warmth into people. As much as some people are naturally warm people, you need to train warmth into your people. And it starts from the leadership. Like John Maxwell would say, everything rises and falls on leadership. If the leadership is not warm to the employees, there's no way they would also dish out warmth. Something Hoshulzi would always say is that we are ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen. And that's something that is really important. So if you let them see themselves as important people in your business, I mean your employees, they would also dish out warmth to your customers. Now for today, why warmth matters. Media, help me. That's the first slide we have there. Now, why is warmth really important in business? Why is it important in our interactions with people? Now, I established last week that we want to go beyond just transactional service to emotional service. I don't just want to sell stuff to you. I want to ensure that for the rest of your life, if you need the same service, you will come back to me. That's what I want to do. It's not just transactional. It's beyond, you've patronized, I have made sales, and I'm moving on to the next customer. So when you're looking at warmth, when you want to do something, when you want your transactions to be emotional, when you want your interactions to be emotional and not just transactional, you look out for the little things. I'll give you an example. Will Gidara, I think that's his name, he is he's in the restaurant business, which is also the hospitality business. He said that one thing that transformed his service experience as a business owner was that some tourists came to the U.S. He's in the U.S. I think they came to New York. And then they were talking about how there's this particular hot dog that they crave. He overheard them having that conversation. Guess what he did? He quickly ran out. Now, this was a 3-star restaurant at the time, just 3-star. But now he has grown, and at some point, he had the best restaurant in the world. There's this ranking they do every year for the top 50 restaurants in the world. The first year he went there, he was number 50. And then after this story I'm going to tell you, after this happened, he turned out to be number one because this revolutionized his service experience. So when he heard these people talking about how they crave that hot dog, he went out to get it. He took it to the chef and then told the chef that, prepare this hot dog, do this, and serve it to these people. And the chef was like, this doesn't make sense. This is a $20 hot dog, and we're a 3-star restaurant. And then guess what? Because he did that, those people were so wowed. Like, how did you know that we wanted this? He said it's on the house. Enjoy it. Now, that was one experience that made him know that people are human, right? You don't just look for ways to just sell to them. Find a way to be human to them also. This would really help your business. If you find a way to ensure that you're not just trying to sell, look for the little things. Warmth does not have to be expensive. I said it last week. If you're in the wristwatch business and then you know that you have a customer that really likes expensive wristwatches, if you know his son is a Ben 10 fan, get him a Ben 10 wristwatch. Another way you can show warmth is if you know it's raining, for instance, let's say it's raining outside, and then you know people would come into your store because, of course, you're in business and then you have a lot of things that you sell. People would usually come into your store. If they come in, like they come in the rain to your store, let there be a towel there for them. Like something for them to know that, oh, this person is thinking about me. They're thinking about the fact that I'm going to come in here with. And they already made provisions for me. It's the little things that really matters. So warmth matters because people are human. Customers are human. The most successful brands connect emotionally, and I've explained that. Then warmth creates loyalty, trust, and advocacy. The whole point is this. Why warmth is really important and why I am very particular about warmth is that I want your customers to become evangelists for your brand. I want them to be the ones to tell people about your brand, and not just tell people about it, but also be advocates for your brand. So this is what I mean by being advocates. If you ever make a mistake, which is bound to happen, we don't have perfect products. It doesn't matter the app you have or whatever product it is you sell, there would usually be defects. If you're in the clothing business, like I am, sometimes it's the tailor's fault. So at some point this year, I got this NGO in ABJ, in Abuja, to work with, and we had finalized everything. Great job, you know. I paid the quality control person to go through. Okay, so here's how I work. The framework for me is, from the tailors, there's someone who will do quality assurance, and then to be sure that everything works well, and then it is now branded and packaged, and I deliver, right? So I think my error was that I trusted my quality assurance person. I didn't do second checks because the job was a lot. And then by the time the customers got this job, I've been in business for some time now. I've never been blasted like that, you know. And they said a lot of things. They sent me voice notes. They told me this. And all I did was, I'm so sorry. Send me pictures. I want to be able to see where the issue is. Send me videos. And they did all of that. As soon as they were able to compile all the errors, I think I had to remake 24 items again. And this cost me a lot of money. But I wasn't looking at the money at the time. I was looking at my relationship with these people, right? And so what I did was I asked them that, don't worry, don't even bother sending it back to Lagos. I will make another and send it to you. And that's what I did. I ensured I did it. And this time, when they got it, they were calmer in that they said things like, oh, you shouldn't have done us like this in the first time. I told them that. I had to explain to them. I apologized. I sent a formal apology to them. I had to write out an apology to send to these people. Why? Because these people matter to me. I'm looking for loyalty. I'm not just looking to make sales at that very point. I want it to be that experience, even though I tried to ensure that the product was perfect, there was an error. So no matter how you try to ensure a perfect product, there would usually be errors. The way you treat your customers will determine how you navigate that error. Now, your customers being advocates for you means that they recognize that, oh, this person really made an error here. But then they are able to defend you when other people talk. This is not in this person's character. It's not in his behavior. I believe this was an honest mistake, and I trust this person to fix it. I've had customers like that where they will say, and this happened. Maybe maybe someone referred my business to other people, and then there was an error or something happened, and the person who referred them calls me to say, "Oh, this happened to this person." Oh. And I'm like, "Don't worry, I would always." So I'll give you this. I call it the expo for my business. Most most businesses in Nigeria are quick to refund. You know, when you tell them that you are not comfortable or you are not happy about a service, the next thing they are telling you is, how much is it, Seth? We'll refund your money. That's bad for business. What that does to your business is that it makes people lose confidence in you. It makes them feel like you are not competent as a business owner. So here's what I do. First, if the issue can be repaired, I will repair, right? If it cannot be repaired, the next thing I do is to replace, all right, which was what I did for my customers in Abuja that I told you about. And then if it cannot be replaced, that's the only time refund will come through, right? So don't just be quick to, and most businesses do it out of anger. Like, how much is the money you're even talking about? Bring back the product or take your money. No, that's bad for business. You're connecting with people. Let your customers be advocates for you. And this is what warmth will do for your business. All right, next slide, please. Now, the science behind warmth is this. Warmth is not just a nice feeling. There are studies that have shown that warmth in business will usually give the same effect as someone being hugged. The hormone serotonin is involved when you administer business with warmth. You get, so when you are able to show customers warmth, there's that trust. There's a science behind it. They feel really good. They feel safe with you. I told you this. There are people I get things from, and if that person does not have that thing, I don't want to know if there are 50 other people that have it. As long as it's not something that is very urgent, I'll wait. I'll wait till I'm able to go back to that person because I just feel safe there. All right? So there's a science behind warmth based on research on, the Warmth Brand is a book that I think you should read for your business. People judge your brand by warmth and competence, and I established that last week. So there is warmth and there's competence. What's competence? Competence shows that you are able to do whatever it is you're telling people that you can do, right? Yes, which is very important. You must know how to do, because customers want products without defects. They want products to be timely also. So when you have a business, you should be competent. But then, if you rely on competence without warmth, this is what it will do for you. Customers will admire your business, but they won't be able to trust you. There's no loyalty. Now, warmth is that balance. Warmth lets you know that I'm competent, but if there's an issue, if competence fails, I'm there to hold you. This is what warmth will do for you. All right? So warmth comes first. It makes competence matter. So if I have 5 people doing the same thing, right, and they're all good, I'll look for the person that I feel more human with. I don't want to feel like you're doing me a favor by me patronizing you. You know, there are businesses like that. It feels like maybe because they have good prices, they are doing you a favor. No, that's wrong. Let customers feel like home. Let it feel like home to them. There is the Ritz-Carlton. I've read a lot about them. It's a hotel. Maybe someday I'll probably go there. But then they noticed that a particular customer came in, and then the day he came in, because of course they had chocolates on on the table, yeah. And then in the man's room, they realized that he didn't take a particular kind of chocolate. That was what the room service person realized. And then she noticed the one he took, right? And then she gave the feedback back to she gave the feedback to the hotel people. And what they did was that they replaced it with the ones he would usually prefer. Now, they weren't sure if it was because he had an allergy or something, but that particular gesture showed that these people really cared. You want to go somewhere, you want to go to a business and feel like, oh, these people really see me, they hear me. These people care about me. They are not just here to make money. These people want to show that, okay, this is home to you. This business exists because of you. Now, at Hilltop, something funny happened some weeks ago. Someone walked up to me and said that he feels very disappointed. And I was like, wow, disappointed, why? He said that when he came, that the welcome, because I take welcome in Hilltop, he said the welcome speech felt like it was for him alone. That with his smile and everything, with the warmth he felt that day, he felt like they wrote the speech for him alone. And then by the second time he came, he saw that it was something we do every Sunday. And that made him feel some type of way. That it made him feel like, oh well, that he wasn't special. So I told him that no. At the time you came, we wrote that for you. The warmth we administered to you that day is not the same warmth that we administered to the other person. We just found a way around it though. But then people want to feel that way. People want to feel like they are coming to church. Yes, let's use church now. I don't want to come to church and then I am confused as to where to sit, right? There was a program I had to attend one time. So from church here, the church is somewhere around here. I went to the program, and when I got there, because it's a church I've not been to before, I got there and I was quite confused. Ushers were there; they were just seated outside. Maybe they expected that he will find his way. But I was confused for some seconds. I didn't know what to do, so I had to ask people that, please, where do I sit, or where would I find a seat? Now, as ushers in church, I think it is very important that experiences like that do not happen. You must make people feel like they are welcome, like this is home to them. So when you walk into church, be enthusiastic. Show them that I'm happy that you are here and I want to serve you, right? So you're not just standing somewhere and say, go there, right? If you are pointing them somewhere, let it be that there's someone else to receive them there. So if I'm standing at the door, for instance, and I'm pointing them to this aisle, let it be that there is somebody there to receive them. People don't want to feel like strangers, even in church. People want to come and feel like, okay, this is home for me. Which is why we say things like, when we welcome first-timers, the people around them should be warm to them. Let it be that you have seen, let them feel like you have seen them before. Like, I'm really excited that you came to church today. Not the cold handshake and make them feel like we are just doing it because, we are just doing it because you're coming to. No, put enthusiasm in it. Let them feel welcome here, all right? So yes, wherever competence fails, warmth will save you. Next slide, please. Now, the business case for warmth, I've spoken about this also. It drives repeat business and referrals. Cold but competent services lead to churn. Churn means people patronizing your business for the first time and they're not coming back again. That's churn. And it's bad for business. We want it to be that, like I said before, if you are getting anything from me, if you are coming to our hotel for the first time, if you're in the hotel business, let it be that every time, let's say you stay in Lagos and you go to Abuja. If you're going to Abuja, every time you get to Abuja, our hotel will be the only hotel on your mind because of how well we treated you. That's the whole idea. You understand? We want you to be that customer that for your lifetime, as long as you're still alive, because we know that you need our service, we want to be the only ones that will serve you. All right? So empathy is now a competitive advantage. With the age of AI that we are in right now, where we have people can do a lot of things. Empathy is what people are looking for. People will look for where is warm for them. They will usually go to people that care about them. They want to know that this is a business that cares about me. Now, this is what warmth looks like. Next slide, please. Active listening and genuine interest. Now, I said something last week where I was like, when people complain, body language is very important also, right? The person who stands and puts his hand at his back as you're complaining to him gives a different vibe from someone who has his hands like this and his head tilted a bit. A friend texted me and was like, from today, whenever I want to greet you, I'll have to tilt my head. But then, that's not the point. Yeah? Your body language is really important. People want to know that this person is listening to me. You can't tell me that you care about my business, right? And then your countenance, you can't tell me that you care about me, and then your countenance says something else. People have the right words most times. They will say the whole right lingua. They will tell you things like, oh, we apologize that this happened. It's all scripts. I don't want scripts. I don't want to hear scripts at that time. I want empathy. I want active listening. Some people have just concluded that, oh, this customer is a problematic person. And so while the customer is complaining, because of that notion you have already, you've blocked whatever empathy you would have towards that customer. Now, another body language you can use when people are talking to you or complaining, just nod as they are complaining, just keep nodding. Say, oh, not in an awkward way. Not in an awkward way, of course. But then you nod, and it makes them, it does something to them. It makes them feel like, oh, this person is really listening to me, even if what they are saying is not correct. I gave an example about how customers are not always right. They're only right in the matters of taste and how they feel, right? And the example was that if someone gets an AC, for instance, I gave this last year, and the person says that this AC does not work at all. I'm in the AC and I'm sweating and everything. You guys sold fake products. That's why I should never have gotten this from you. And then you ask the customer, after listening to the customer, and you apologize for the experience, you ask the customer that, please, what temperature is the AC on? It's on the highest now. It's on 30. You understand that the problem here is a knowledge problem, right? So the customer was not right in the sense that the AC was wrong. The AC was faulty. But then he was right in the sense that he did not get the experience he expected. So that's where you come in as the warmth person or the warmth advocate, to let them know that, oh, this is what is happening. And not in a way to make them feel, don't use sarcasms, please. Not in a way to make them feel stupid, You don't do certain things to customers. Some people will give you the solution, no. But at the end of the day, you go there feeling like, oh, well, I just made a fool of myself. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to make your customer feel that way. So in a case like that, you just let them know that, oh, okay. You don't tell them that, sir, but if you did physics in school, you will understand that the lower temperature is the cool. No, you don't do that. You explain to them that, oh, okay, how it works for ACs is that the lowest temperature is usually the coldest. Could you please reduce it to maybe 16 or 17, and then you'll get the best experience out of this? It's as simple as that. You don't just say things like, oh, ga. Now, Nigerians do something. They try to be polite, but in an insultive way. They say things like, Oga, are you satisfied now? And then the tone they use will make you feel like, oh, I just made a fool of myself. Now, as a customer, you won't have a case because they use the polite words, right? And then even if you take it anywhere, if the person asks you, they ask you, okay, what did I say to you? You tell them that, oh, this is what the person said to me. And the other person will be like, but he said the right things. No, I don't want you to just say the right things. I want you to act the right way also. It's very important, okay? Now, proactive problem solving and follow-up. This is what warmth looks like. Customer service is black and white. Always remember this. Customer service is black and white. Warmth is what introduces the color to it. And this is what I'm trying to teach with Quivers Consulting. Yeah, so I'm trying to build a culture of warmth with Quivers. Quivers is a consulting or a solutions firm where we are able to help businesses cultivate warmth. We don't want to just have great customer service. We want you to also have warmth in your business. All right. Now, the warmth framework, there are the 5 C's of warmth, which is connection. We want to build connection. There is clarity. So you're communicating with simplicity and transparency, not with sarcasm, please. Not with sarcasm. Don't connect with sarcasm. Don't try to show that you are great at sarcasm at that point. Then show people empathy and personal concern. There's this story about a woman she was going to board a flight to go somewhere else. And I think, I can't remember how the story was exactly, but I think they found out that she found out at the airport that her son had just gotten into an accident and then she needed to be there. At the airport there, what the airline did was that they booked another flight for her going to that same city. They didn't even try to say, madam, there's a process, so we can't do this. Maybe you'll come back tomorrow. or wait for it later. Immediately. This shows warmth. Another example is, so this guy had his grandmother in hospice care, and then, of course, they knew that she was going to pass. I think she had cancer or so. And then her last wish was that she wanted a particular bread. Now, on that day when she wanted it, the grandson went to the store and asked them if they had the bread. Now, they didn't have it on that day because it wasn't something they did every day. And then the guy explained to them that this was what was happening, and he really wanted the bread, right? Now, the owner of the business, now these are people who are warm, people who understand warmth. What she did was that she asked them to make it for him, and it was free of charge, right? Now, the whole idea was that she wasn't sure that by the next week when they would do it, the woman would still be alive. What she did was that the woman would still be alive. But she did that, and that meant a lot to the woman's grandson. We can look for the little touch points. Most times, it doesn't have to follow the process. I know that most businesses want to follow processes, but then you can empower your employees to learn to show warmth to people. I told us last week that for the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, they empower their employees with up to about $2,000 to solve problems for their customers. Now, they are not just looking for people who will do the work. It's not just about doing the work. We want you to there's an experience we want you to give to your customers. So in your KPIs for business owners, in your KPIs, go beyond just looking for who has made the highest sales. Also introduce the maybe the warmth parameter to it. You know, how warm were you with customers? And then let there be things to show for it. Okay? All right. Then culture, embed warmth into the DNA of your team. It is possible. Some people are born warmth. Some people are born with warmth, and then others get to learn it. You can learn it. It's possible. It comes with training. Deliberate training will bring out warmth. All right. So if we have business owners that see the need for warmth and they are warm to their own people, their employees will in turn be warm to customers. Not the one that you are telling your people that they should treat people with warmth and respect, and then you are there treating them like they don't matter to you. It doesn't make sense. You have to practice what you preach. Another one that most business owners make, another mistake is you talk bad about the customer, and then you expect that your people will treat them with care. It doesn't make sense. It's not possible. It's not possible. Don't talk bad about your customers and then expect that people will treat them with care. All right, so there are real-life applications to this. Next slide, please. Okay, so in retail, you can greet by name, anticipate needs. Now, something the hotel business, because I have studied a lot on this, I'm very passionate about this. Something the hotel business does is this. At the gates, where they check maybe they check your luggage. So for instance, let's say a car is driving in, and of course, you know the routine checks for security purposes. They check. Most times when people are coming from the airport, there's usually a tag on their bags that has their names on it, right? Now, this is you being proactive. You check and you see that, oh, Mr. Lagbaja, this is Mr. Lagbaja, right? You already alert the front desk people that this man coming with a black shirt that says, "Yea, God," is Mr. Lagbaja, right? As soon as he approaches you, "Hello, Mr. Lagbaja, you're welcome to XYZ Hotel." It makes sense to them. Like, it gives them there's that beauty. People like to hear their names. They want to know that, oh, okay, it's like this person knows me. I don't know you. It's just business sense. You understand? So greet people by names. All right? Then in hospitality, you create memorable moments. We are looking for moments. We are creating moments. All right? We are thinking in moments to create memories. Yes, that's very important. So you make the best of every moment. You look for opportunities. I told you how Lululemon would usually put a table close to their dressing room, the folding table. So while their staff is there trying to fold clothes, they're also listening to the complaints of customers. If the customer is complaining that, oh, this fabric is like, they're taking feedback to their head office. They're letting them know that, oh, this is what customers are complaining about. This is deliberate. You have to be deliberate about warmth, and you have to pay attention to. All right? Then customer support, you respond with empathy and not scripts. Now, barriers to warmth, when you focus on speed, when you just want to be done with the customer and move on to the next, that's a barrier. Okay? Then lack of training and emotional intelligence. Some people do not have emotional intelligence. I want to be able to go to a business that listens beyond what I am saying. I could be rambling, but the person is able to pick out whatever the issue is. And, when someone is able to make sense of all your ramblings, it makes you know that, oh, this person is listening to me, So if a customer is complaining that, oh, this is happening, and then he goes from point A to point A to point maybe P, and then goes back to C, and then he's just, because of active listening, you're able to put the points together and know that, okay, this is what this person is complaining about, and you make it make sense to them. All right, so you can do that in customer support. Okay, lack of training and emotional intelligence. Then inconsistent leadership example. I said this before, where somebody would say one thing and then they mean another. All right, now creating a culture of warmth. Hire for attitude, you train for skill. You need to find people, don't just look at competence. If you're in the service business, and I believe everybody's in the service business. Everybody's in the service business. It doesn't matter if you are selling puff or you are giving out loans or whatever it is you're doing. You're in the service business, you just have a product to sell. You understand? You're in the service business, you just have a product to sell. All right, so you celebrate stories, hire for attitude and train for skill, which is what Quivers does. You train for skill. Then you build warmth into KPIs. Now, before I go to omotenashi, I told us we are going to Japan today. Omotenashi is the Japanese concept of warmth, and I will explain to us how it differs from ordinary customer service. Let's talk about our dear Lord Jesus Christ and everything he did for us. How Jesus is the chief of warmth is this. You remember the Sermon on the Mount from Matthew chapter 5, chapter 6, I think chapter 7 also. Now, in chapter 8, scripture speaking, it says that, and it's such a beautiful story. Even before I started the whole warmth revolution thing, this story always stood out for me. Now, Jesus was descending from the mount, and then the man with the withered hand reached out to him. And he was like, Master, if you are willing, make me well. If you read in Matthew chapter 8, I think verse 1, scripture speaking, it says that, what did Jesus do? Jesus went ahead to say, he didn't just, Jesus could have said, be healed. And by his word, that would have, of course, it's Jesus, right? But scripture says Jesus touched him. Now that's warmth. Jesus touched him, and then he told him that I am willing. And the man was well. That touch is warmth. Customer service is, let's use that to differentiate between customer service and warmth. Customer service is saying that, be well in Jesus' name. It gets the job done, right? Warmth is touching the man and healing him. Very important. Warmth is touching him. Now he's a leper. And lepers are not supposed to be touched. They are unclean people. I'm just trying to imagine, when I think about that story, the last time that man must have the last time he must have felt a human touch. And imagine the first touch he felt was the touch of Jesus. That's warmth. So Jesus is our chief warmth person, all right? Now, let's talk about omotenashi. It's a spirit of selfless service. It's service that is proactive, not reactive, right? So, an example of omotenashi was someone saying that he went to Japan and he needed to find the location to a particular place. He stopped the first person and the person didn't know. The first person stopped another person. That person didn't know. And both of them were there. So there were three now. And then that person stopped another person. The three of them stood there until that person got his direction right. Now, this is not possible in our place, Nigeria. Because the reason I said that is because if someone is nice to you in Nigeria, please expect that you are going to settle them. Expect it. Omotenashi goes beyond that. Omotenashi is selfless. You're not expecting anything. And please, as business owners, I think we should learn to embed this in our own people also. Teach people without, or serve people without expecting stuff in return. I don't want to go to a hotel and then because of a great service I have received, the guy is telling me that, Oga, anything for the boys, show me love or do weekend for me. That's bad. That's really terrible. So if you have businesses where people are bound to do that, you need to train. You need to train them. All right? You have to treat everyone as a guest. Let them know that they are important to you. This is what Omotenashi does. It applies to business. It goes the extra without expecting anything in return. You are doing it because you value the person, not because you want the person to now give you a tip or something. Some people might not even ask for tip, but their body language, they are hanging around after they've done it. Just do your service and go. Like if you're doing it for a business, you understand? Don't let people feel like they owe you something because they've been nice to you. All right, my time is up. But then I'll just talk about your warmth advantage. Warmth is your brand signature. It differentiates you from a saturated market where people have different products. It makes transactions into relationships. That's what warmth will do. It transforms transactional businesses into emotional, from transactional interactions to emotional interactions. And then final thoughts, you need to audit your current customer experience. You need to train your team on emotional intelligence. And of course, you can partner with Quivers whenever you need this help. All right, do we have any questions? Quickly, please. Questions? All right, just one question, please. One question. All right, because of time.
So what if a person works in a company and you actually have a leader, just like you rightly said now, that is saying, be nice, but that same leader is condescending, insults this, as in the leader is the one channeling that wrong atmosphere, so what should that kind of a staff do?
All right, I understand the hierarchy of leadership in organizations where someone wants to do what is right, but then we now find that there is a lead to it. In cases like that, right, if you have a policy that allows people talk to management about things like that, you can suggest that, there should be maybe trainings. There should be trainings for... Thank you.